per Paul, but I don't have all the details. But there's been some discussion with Ken's in the past with truck idling and working with Ken's about noise abatement. And per Paul, the Ken's was willing to work on mitigation and abatement issues. However, some of their proposals were like either a noise barrier, like a wall, or maybe some shrubbery or brushes or trees. And when this was sort of a wider issue with a number of complaints from housing, but I think in the past year, I think it's more one residential site. So there was look at some of that, but apparently in the past, some of the discussion from Ken's, the residents as a whole was not in favor of this because this is sort of a not a widespread area with the noise. And then for some of the noise complaints have been decreasing. And then the Paul has recently, like this year in the last couple months, gone a few times. The resident husband was there. He has been over in the past month. He does not hear noise when he's there, Paul. But there was some documentation about a year ago in 2020 from some police on site when they were called. And that's sort of a summary of where we're at now.
Are they mostly just bothered by the noise at night?
I haven't spoken to the current woman with the complaint, so that's in my plan.
I wanted to put this on the agenda, Nancy, because it's come to my knowledge, and I did receive an email from a resident. It was kind of too quick. I felt like we didn't have enough time to get, updated on what's going on, but I just want the public to know that this is in our purview. We need to think about this. We need
and noise is a serious issue with serious health consequences.
Right. This is the distribution plant, right, on Route 9. And so, as you all know, that was, it's repurposed, I guess. And
it was Verizon at one point.
Right. So someone who may have lived there for years and never had an issue, now all of a sudden there's new. And so it can have, public health impacts, and it could be the idling of the vehicles for a long period of time, and you have exhaust issues. It could be noise. It could be, a lot of things. So I think I would like to offer that resident to come to a future meeting to give us a little more background of, what they've encountered over time, and then us to do a little more homework with DEP. Maybe look at other towns have bylaws. It may be a bylaw change for us that we would get involved in. And so I think we need a little more homework. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Probably a little more homework. I will say, I know we've had other issues involving Ken's, and they've always been very receptive. I can't remember if it was like a beaver issue in that area, and they were very helpful. They, I believe, paid for some help with that. So, I mean, they've always been good to work with, but I do feel like we could probably use a little more information.
Right. And Tim Litt just gave me, I love Tim Litt. Like he says, Article 41 on the warrant is a citizen proposed noise bylaw. So there is a proposal for town meeting, but I mean, I think we need to be prepared to address, and I don't feel that we are right now. So,
I'll give you just a little bit more information, and that's that I don't know how many years ago, a representative from Ken's came to the Board of Selectmen and, proposed. What happened was that they ended up doubling or more than doubling the size of that building. And I was there at that meeting for a different reason, but and a lot of the residents in that area came and spoke. Clearly, whatever the outcome was, did not favor the residents because they were able to double the size of their facility. And they were describing all the noises, not just idling trucks, but just a lot of other noise issues. And so now, fast forward a few years, and talking to Paul yesterday, Ken's had proposed to, for noise mitigation, they were gonna plant, these huge trees or shrubs or whatever, but apparently that was going to be in a leach field area. Well, you can't do that. So,
Oh, no.
and yeah, so I think, to Mary Lou, to your point that, this is in our purview, that, and I'm glad to see that this noise bylaw is on there, because quite frankly, over the years, I've called the police and said, hey, there's somebody working on the street at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was told that there's no noise bylaw in Southborough. However, I know for a fact that for a very long time, there have been noise bylaws in other towns in Massachusetts, because I grew up on the Cape. And so I know that they have them down there. So hopefully that there'll be some, there's be some progress in this area. I'm not really sure what all we can do now. And there might even be one of the residents on the meeting now. I don't know, because we have some attendees. There's at least one person. I don't recognize the name. So, yeah, I think going forward that this will be interesting to see, what happens with, that Article 41 as well, because I think it's something that's certainly needed.
Well, at minimum, we need to be able to respond to Article 41 when it comes up. If not, really get more information before, Any other thoughts on that agenda item before we move on?
I just have a question. Why do they have to leave the trucks idling? I don't really understand.
Well, there could be a pretty big disconnect here too, right? So
I think there's
Ken's
less
is-
idling, but there is still noise, but
Okay,
and Ken's, they're aware of the situation,
okay,
but that doesn't necessarily trickle down to the truck drivers that are parking in the parking lot.
right, okay.
And who knows? It could be for 5 minutes. It could be all day long. It could be not today,
Right,
but
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I
if each
need
truck
more-
does 5 minutes, I don't know how many trucks there are. Yeah.
Well, it's a
Right.
24-hour operation.
Yeah, we need more information, I think, for sure.
I just got a message that vaccines, they're trying to deliver vaccines.
I'm sorry, I just got, that's why I stood up.
I got a police notice. They're trying to deliver
no.
vaccines to the Board of Health office. Oh, you got them.
It's the ancillary kit.
Thank you. All
Building just brought it over. I wasn't
right.
answering the doorbell.
right, thank you. All right, here we are at work.
I
Thank
got it. It's the ancillary kit, vaccines
All right.
tomorrow. Those are the
Thank you.
syringes.
All
And
right.
luckily, they brought it over from next door.
Awesome, thank you. So the next item on our agenda is discussion of our 22 budget. Did everybody get the spreadsheet and the Word backup for our current proposed budget? So it should,
They might not have. Let me send it.
Those are the syringes. And luckily, they brought it over from next door.
awesome,
What's this
thank you.
doing this?
So the next item on our agenda is
Hang on.
discussion of our 22 budget. Did everybody get the spreadsheet, here? The Word backup for our current proposed budget? Barbara, what's happening?
Hang on. I've got 15 different feeds coming in this thing. It's been driving me crazy today.
Luckily, they brought it over.